Yes, greetings. This is Fasimba. Today, Sundays, a little bit past 6 p.m., we are going to have a dub conversation with a dub defender that resides down in Florida, and she's on the line. So, greetings, Queen Miss Africa.
Greetings, and honor, respect the great one. Fasimbas Vanguard, African Sound System. Thank you so much for having me.
We no, thank you to you to be willing to participate in this showcase, which is your showcase. I got to inform that right here in Baltimore, we're having a lot of difficulty currently in terms of connection. So far, the green dot means that we are connected. So we hope that we're going to remain connected for the entire session because we're having someone that is really, really deep into the dub and roots reggae message music in the USA. And that's a person of Queen Dubby, Miss African Roots. So welcome on board and tell us about your musical journey, about yourself as an introduction to those who haven't heard from you yet. Again, it's an honor to have you online, to have it with us. So welcome, and you got the mic, sister.
Okay, yes, honor and respect. Rastafari. I am Miss African Roots, and I feel that Queen W is really is a title more so than my name. It's a title, that I feel like that I kind of give respect to the pioneer who I always feel inspired me the most was King Tubby, of course. So to keep that vibration moving forward is just, in a female form now. So, I don't have no subjects, I'm not over nobody, but I definitely honor this music and where it comes from. The real intellectual, I guess, or just, the experimental minds that were in Jamaica in that time. The real intellectual, I guess, or just, experimental minds that were, or just, the foundation, which is, the Scratch Perry and the Keith Hudsons and, of course, the King Tubbies and on forward because these people, shaped, a sound that, that was so clearly ahead of its time. And we've been able to take so much from Jamaican reggae music and what it has filtered to the African diaspora, but the world. And it's important that reggae music is presented, I think, in its many layers. And it's just not one thing because it's not. It's evolved and clearly, it has taken on many other, levels. So I curate a program called Deeper Levels. Deeper Levels Miami, I'm trying to create as a physical scene. But right now online, I do sessions in which, I just play the music. I'm not really used to talking because I'm not used to, I'm not usually talking. I feel like the music speaks for me, but that's what I do and that's who I am.
Well, thank you. It looked like we're going to have a very interesting dub conversation. Your introduction made us clearly understand that you know what you are talking about, that you dip into the music. So I have a few questions that I would like to ask you, and we know we can expect some very interesting answers coming from you. So the very first question that I have is, given the current situation of roots dub reggae in the USA, first of all, how do you see it, and how do you see the evolution of roots reggae in the United States of America from your own perspective and experience?
It's evolved greatly, right? Like everything, music, but I think in the U.S., reggae has always struggled. It's always been kind of the underground, or, um, you can go to most cities, maybe big cities, and you can get a club here or there that plays reggae, and it's pretty standard, if I may say.
So you use the term standard. What do you mean by standard? Reggae is reggae. Am I
right?
Is it?
It is not, though.
Is it not? Okay, just elaborate on that. It'd be very good for.
Because I think we all know, like, reggae has, it has many, like, all forms of music. It has lovers. It has, it has, you know, historical. It has many subjects, but when I say standard, I'm just saying, I guess, what we consider to be what's popular, right? So what's popular is maybe what you're going to hear in the club, maybe, there are a lot of selectors. It's a lot to go around, especially nowadays. But the U.S. has always kind of had like a very, I don't know, it's kind of stagnant. I don't know what to call it. But it's like, there's just like, I don't know, I guess it depends where you are. I can't speak for the entire country.
So the standard, can you use it's not a synonym, but let's say for the sake of our conversation, narrow-minded exposed, or more or less put it into a cornered straitjacket, the way is it presented, or?
Yes, I mean, you're going to hear very formulaic, vibe, and I think that's something that most people, whether we want to admit it or not, that's what we're used to, you know what I'm saying? We're used to it, we accept it, and we have a good time, and we move on, right? But, that's probably the average person, but I'm not the average person, so I don't look at it that way. When I go somewhere and I hear reggae music, and if I'm hearing the same thing, and I'm hearing the same thing, and I'm hearing, it kind of bothers me. So I'm like, this isn't for me.
Okay, so
I need something else.
Okay,
something else.
So this experience that you are having, as far as the music is concerned, can we extrapolate it to our experience ourselves? Because my understanding, I was always told and taught that the cultural expression of a people is actually the reflection of their experience on a daily basis. Do you see it like this, or is not the case? The way how reggae is viewed, the way how reggae is perceived, the way how reggae is presented, is there like a disjunction between what it is and how we perceive it, or how is it perceived?
I think so. I think, for a person who's born and raised in Jamaica, if you understand, a Jamaican, right? Their relationship with reggae is going to be different. as opposed to a person who is a Jamaican, maybe by second generation, but they're in the UK or in Europe.
Yeah.
The experience or their relationship with the music may be different. Of course, those scenes, though, so many miles apart, they're still very connected, but very different. And then in the US, you have a collection of that as well, because I remember like when I really started getting into reggae music, I would really like watch the bands.
When was that?
And then
How many years?
that
2
was,
years? 3
yeah, that
years?
was in DC. Oh gosh, back in those days, Fasimbas.
When was those
So
days? Like in the 2000s, 90s, 80s?
yeah, I would say like in the late '90s,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
In the '90s and early 2000s, I would say DC had a really rich reggae cultural scene, live reggae bands,
Yeah.
very talented, very, just all of them
Like
unique,
the
just
Bamboo
amazing.
Station, the Midnight, the Striker Posses,
Yeah,
the
Mojanaya. Oh yeah, Bamboo Station. Oh wow, we
yes,
had
Bamboo Station. Hell up to Bamboo Station, Jelani Alton.
respect.
Big
you
respect.
know,
Yeah.
we had Black Sheep, we had
Black
Sammy
Seed,
Red,
yeah.
we had Carl Malcolm,
Carl
we had
Malcolm. Hell up to Carl Malcolm. Yeah, exactly. That's true.
respect.
That's true. And then you had that place
You
called
know,
Dukem. The Duke, no, it was not the
the
Dukem, was
Bookum,
the Bookem. We're
the
playing all these
Bookum.
reggae acts. Yeah.
Yes, and you see that these people, they work very hard. They come out night after night, no matter who shows up. They play, and they give their all. And so that was kind of my learning ground. I feel like was
I
watching
understand.
these bands, just duke it out, just give their best, and sing this amazing music, from where they come from.
I see.
uh, yeah.
That was a good
So
learning something ground, no question.
exactly.
With Mama
So
Farika, yes, and
yes,
Rastafari elders, all of them. It seems that
Roxy
DC
Doe.
was very important, and with, of course, that label called RAS.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, no question. Black Uhuru will swing by, Gregory
Yes.
Isaac will swing by.
Peter Broad.
Yes, Peter Brooks, yeah, and Sister Carol,
Israel
and Israel
Vibration.
Vibration. I remember going to a place called the Citadel, where they have
Hmm.
some shows in towards the mid '90s, and yeah, I remember. Wow, I see.
Absolutely. That's a story that, I don't know who could tell it, but DC definitely had like a really like very spirited energy for the music, and especially for the live bands, before the whole, I guess, electronic scene took over.
Yeah. So, given all that information, all that history, all that culture, all that Rastafari guidance and presence within DC,
Mhm.
how is the resources, the finance, tagging along with all that history? It appears to me that people who were part of doing all that work ought to be or had to be rewarded accordingly, or they were still on the sideline of all that financial downfall. When
Yes.
we look at now, where are all those people?
Exactly.
Where are they? I mean, when we really look around, have they been replaced? Are there new players who understand that past history, who understand such evolution, who understand such culture? This is my question now. My second question is, what are the resources for that music, and how do we see the Caribbean community so disconnected from the Africans who love reggae music, from the African American community who love reggae music, or the community at large who love such music? Is there a communication? Are there resources coming back and forth, or it is just like these are entertainers and just here to entertain us, and we give them a few pocket change. I'm talking about the everyday artists, not talking about the big shots, which I know they do get something. I'm talking about someone like you, someone like me. Oh, by the way, I'm into sound system. Or anyone of who take that that tool of reggae music more than just a hobby or a weekend thing. It's just for us to go to the bar and we listen to the music and we move on. No. How is the resources, financially speaking? Can you give your experience on, let's say, the finance and the sound system? When you do sound system, are you rewarded?
Yeah. No.
Oh, that's it? No, and that's it? No. No, really?
Yeah, no.
No. We're going to stop there and say pass to the next question, or?
No. I can certainly elaborate, because no, in the sense where for example, I would say for sound system dub producers, people who actually produce the music, I can imagine for them, they don't do this music because they're trying to make money. You know, it's definitely a music that you do because you love. So you hope maybe you make some money and you strategize, you can make money. But it's definitely not a music that you go into and say, "Oh yeah, I'm doing this music because I'm going to make a lot of money."
So, in other words, if you really want to make money, make gospel music, make
hip hop,
hip hop music, make
Afro beats. You know,
Afro. Wait a minute, Afrobeat? Really? Make a lot of money. Really? So it's commercial, basically. All this is back with those big entrepreneur with money. It's just a money machine. That's what we're talking about. So dub music, reggae per se, is still seen like a side type of genre in America.
Yes.
But how come in California they're making so much buku money?
It's a different environment.
You see these retiree in code hippie they're making so much money controlling the scene. What about the American mainstream reggae act that makes so much money? I mean, buku money. The college band, all these, they do exist. I mean, they do reggae, or it's what? It's rock reggae. It's
what happens is, America's complex because each part of the country has its own history or vibe, right?
Okay.
California's been able to harness because I think of where it is and just.
Where is it? Still in America, right? Oh, you say
it's
where
still
it is,
in America, but it's still like different. It's still different. Yeah, I mean, California. Somebody who lives there, like, they'll tell you, like, this is very different, very, very different.
But
and as each part of the country is, every part has its own energy.
Exactly, I agree with that.
Say.
Yes. Okay, Florida is different from the northeast. It's still in the east. It's just up and down. And California on the other end, it has its own vibes, like you said. So the reason, because it has its own vibes, the reason why there seems to be harvesting more financial downfall than others down in Florida, or the few of us down in Baltimore and etc.
I don't know. I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. Somehow they've been able to maintain over there for many years, and I think they just have a better community maybe infrastructure. I think that that is
Absolutely, I
at the
agree.
core of it.
Yeah, it's
I really think that's at the core of it.
the
Is
structure.
having a strong community infrastructure.
I agree with you.
So for that, I have to give kudos to California because I remember when Midnight actually started like going on tour, it was really California that really was like, like
Pushing
really,
them.
really, yes.
Okay.
So the Masters in California has been, I always used to like, sit back and be like, wow, California must be the shit. Like, that's amazing, And that's what they did, Desiree, they always was very, very kind of forward, I guess. So they
Gotcha.
had like this very, and that was like way back. I can remember like early 2000s them being that way. So now I'm sure, and I'm glad to see that it's even more so now. It's just that,
Sure.
you know,
Sure.
it hasn't been so much like that on the East Coast. The East Coast is very fragmented, and I don't know.
The East Coast. Yeah, fragmented. Yes, and yeah, we say yeah. So at the early stage of our conversation, you mentioned about the music, the artists, the history, and the pioneers. Can you elaborate on the music, the artists that you have been inspired, yeah, and the history of how you came into becoming one of those rare, authentic dub roots Rastafari reggae activists? Can you call you an activist?
Yes, an activist. I would say a student as well. I always consider myself a student.
So a
And
student cannot be an activist
yes, a
because
student activist.
you see a lot of them. You see these days you see a lot of students who just take the platform
Absolutely.
of talking for the society like they know it all. But I'm gonna stop there. That's not your case. So you are a student and an activist of reggae, dub,
Yes, yes,
Rastafari, message music.
yes,
So
yes.
my question again, the music, the artists, and your history in becoming the sister that you are in our music.
Uh, I mean, that's a long journey, but I would say at this point for me, I've studied the music long enough to know that there's so much of it. There's so much that needs to be heard. There's so much of it that connects us to our past, that connects us to our future. And I feel we need to have a different way of listening to it. And we need to have a different way of having it being shared, exposed, and etc. Um, because this music is for us. For me, it is a liberation tool. It is a tool of communication beyond just someone singing and making me feel good, but also bringing and tapping into my own subconscious mind. And that's what the music is there for, is there to like give us another perspective. And that's why it's important for us to maintain the integrity of it. I respect so many of the producers who are current nowadays. It's too many dimensions.
So
But
who come to
certainly,
mind if you just have to name about?
I mean, I would say at the top of the game is going to be definitely someone like I have to give respect to King Alpha. Um, I think he has transformed the dub sound. Just I can't even put it into words, but I would say he's definitely one of the more forward producers of our time, like really taking the music to the future. Um, there's definitely quite a few. There's a lot of them out there, which is astounding. People that we don't even know of. Um, a
It's
lot
so
of
true, so true.
Europe. Yeah, a lot of cats in Europe. Judah, high elements I love, and I love Jawariah sound, and there's many. There's so many that I find myself getting lost because there's so many, and yet I feel like I'm only able to really express them when I'm playing it. So then you'll know. It's like, oh wow, okay.
So,
So
where can we hear you? Are you online? You do a session, live and direct? You travel
yeah,
around the country, they invite you, they pay you, I mean, are there, the response for all your work? Do
well,
you see
for right
yourself being
now,
rewarded, paid, invited, sent all around the country and beyond? This is my question, my next question.
I can only leave that in the Most High hands in terms of where He sees me to go with this music and how But for now, I am on YouTube and I just
Good.
do my sessions there. So you can find me on YouTube under Queen W for deeper levels.
Queen
And that is,
Dubby on a deeper
yes,
level, right?
yes,
That's
that's
how we
right. Because I
find
want to
you.
connect
Good.
us. I want to connect us on a deeper level, indeed.
Very good. So, all those who are listening, who are promoters, who are going to listen to our session and who are promoters, there's a sister in America that is located in Florida. Where in Florida? And where are you in Florida, if you don't mind us asking?
Well, I just feel like this is where the Most High brought me down here. So this is where I've been, like in the Miami, South Florida area.
Okay, good.
So yeah, and so I feel like this area is very prime for this kind of music, and
Good.
I'm hoping one day, we can see that. We can definitely see the vibes here.
Again, again, and again, all your promoters in America, you know who to contact as of now. There's no excuse. You heard the name. You can easily get on YouTube and see her credential, her talent, her skill. As you have heard her right now, we're talking and hearing and listening to extremely intelligent sister who knows about the history and who understands how to play the music. So what you got now is up to you to make the first move to invite her all around the nation, because she will obviously be a perfect person to introduce and to represent dub roots reggae at a deeper level, correct?
Yes, I.
Okay. So now, how do you see the role that you have, and how do you envision it in the future in terms of promoting and showcasing our music, again, roots dub liberation music to at a deeper level?
Well, I'm continuing to be inspired by what I do see. I do see, I see more women playing. I see, more festivals. I do see more, I just see more people vibing to music, and that to me is more important. I think a whole sound system experience is what I would love to see here. But ultimately, I think I love that it's growing in different places, and it's not like, it isn't until you go and you're at one and you experience the music on that level, it changes you for sure. It
Great.
changes you. Yes, there's no doubt about it. It's not like going to, club and ray. No, this is something else. And so that's why people like Jah Shaka, and that's why people like Sir Coxon and those people from back then time, they created something that now it's a tradition that, I feel even as now as us as melanated people, especially, we really need to be in tune with this. Yeah, we really need to be. But at the end of the day, this music is for all people to liberate themselves from this thing. And so I'm here for anybody that wants to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no time to waste. Nobody gonna know, what you're doing or what you're about if you don't say it. So I respect the scene down here in Miami. There's a lot of music. There's a lot of cultural, quote unquote, music down here.
Great.
You can pretty much listen to everything down here under the sun, right? But you can't pretty much, you're not going to get no dub, so that bothers me.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. A place like Miami in Florida, where the Caribbean is just right around the corner, you're telling me it's hard for me to believe, but because I would believe you because it's coming from you. But you're basically saying that it's hard to hear liberation music, it's hard to hear roots reggae in that context, but you hear all the carnival, all the hyper dance hall, bassmen they call it, easily before you hear what you are playing.
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to that. I think,
Of course, no disrespect to anyone.
I think the more, it's enough for everybody. That's
true.
all I'm saying. It's enough for everybody, whatever your thing is. That's the beauty to me of a place like Miami, is that whatever your thing is, it's here. If you're into garage, whatever it is, it's here.
So if you're into reggae, dub, roots, liberation, Rastafari music.
It's kind of cricket.
But you're down there, right? So do you have space where you can play on a regular level? Promoters, what's up with the promoters? Do they understand it? Do they do their homework?
I'm not going to go there.
Oh, you're not going to go there? Okay, I need to talk to some of them. Let me speak to some of these. They are funny. They are, please. They need to step up. No, don't worry about it. They need to step up. That's all. They need to do their homework.
Exactly, because everything is in its time, yeah? I feel like everything is in its time, and for that, I'm thankful. So going forward, I'll just continue doing what I'm doing. If there's a space, it'll be there. If not, then I still continue to do what I do because it's like artists, they may not have any place to go to do their music, but they still gonna do it. So that's how I feel, This is ordained, so I give thanks.
Yeah, that's the right answer, Miss African Roots. So we did talk about the difference between the East and the West, and South. The East and the West in terms of music. So what would be the difference between California, Europe, and Africa in terms of reggae music? How do California perceive dub, roots, Rastafari reggae music? How does Europe perceive it? And how do you think Africa, as of now, because now we got social media, we see a lot of videos, we see South Africa with this dub scene, it look almost surreal. Everything that we thought was lost in time in the 70s is just being recreated beyond recreation, beyond entertainment, where we see our brothers and sisters of South Africa are such a reactionary country, yet you see element, we see pocket of Rastafari expression. You see videos in which you see them stepping at the same rhythm
Yes.
children,
Yes.
older parents, younger parents,
Yes. Yes.
brothers,
It gives me
sisters with the
chills.
colors.
It gives me chills
You see all
every
this,
time.
and when you go to a place like in America, you don't see that. Even those from Jamaica, they just don't. No, the Caribbean, even the Caribbean, it's yes and no. It's no.
No.
You see more
No.
carnival display, more, but you hardly see a coordinated
Hardly.
movement of melanated people
Yes.
stepping,
Yes.
organizing, congregating
Yes.
under the sound and the message of black music, because this is what it is. It is a black music. It is, and it would always be, no matter how it is for the world. The roots, the background, the cultural expression is purely black, for a better word to say African. But these are Africans showing it.
Yes.
So we really see the African aspect of this cultural expression. So how do you as Miss Roots Africa in the United States, how do you see that? What is how do you feel when you see what you see? These videos in South Africa or in Zambia, all these places, in Cote d'Ivoire, deep community, in Ghana, in Ethiopia now, even in Ethiopia, the establishment has erected a statue of Bob Marley straight up there in Addis Ababa, you know? Marcus Garvey is well known all over Africa. So that connection, does it really exist among African people around the world? Or is more on an entertainment, is more on a superficial level? This is my question to you now. It's a long question, but I think you get.
That's a pretty large question, but
It is.
I will
Everything
try
is
to tackle
large.
it.
Everything is large, you know.
You're right.
You just have to
because
narrow it down to what you want to put on the table.
Yeah. I will try to tackle it from just my observation standpoint, but I rate it as though I look at it for right now. I see that, of course, Europe has the most developed, you know what I mean? Of course, because they have more sound systems than anywhere. I mean, you can go anywhere, Amsterdam, all up and down. They have Russia, for goodness sake. I mean, they have really taken on the tradition in a way that, it cannot be denied. And I appreciate that, they're playing the music from a Rudica aspect, and they're playing it like they know how. And they're adding to the ecosphere of it all. And I think that is what's amazing. However, I don't want to see it become this very commercialized thing in which that's all it is. It's kind of like a party, and it's, because I do see some of that, a lot of that too, right? I do see some of their promotions and for some of their festivals, and it's very, very not very melanated at all. It's very heavily.
I mean, it's
European,
Europe. After all, it's Europe, right?
And you
it
expect that.
It is Europe, and
so I don't know if the meaning is the same, right? I don't know. But it looks like it, but I know when I see, the sound systems, and like definitely in South Africa, from the great, the Cabra, the Gas sound system, respect and honor to them. And that vibe there, I would say that is the highest pinnacle that I've seen. I would say that is what it should be. I would say that that is, that is the representation, the full representation of what this music should be for us, because it's a liberating tool and it's bringing back everything to the community.
So true. So the highest level of cultural and musical expression, you said in South Africa, right?
Yes.
Mm. And why is that?
Because you can see that it is in their every step. You can see it is in their dress. You can see it's in the children. You can see it's in the elders. You can see the movement is syncopated in the spirit of everyone. And that is why I see them as being the highest right now. Yes.
So, Dub Roots Rastafari experience, it's like a communion, like a spiritual, a cultural expression of a people, a particular people, a specific people that has operate to the world, and the world has taken it and up to their own level of understanding.
Yes.
Okay. So do you see a more advancements of dub roots reggae in Africa? Or it won't be
so.
too much hip hop? Or Afrobeat is just counter-attacking all that. All of a sudden, Afrobeat is left and right.
I mean, I'm a DJ, so I play everything. I play hip hop, I play R&B, I do Afrobeat. Is I understand the nature of what I'm dealing with as a DJ, as a business, so to speak. But as a musical person, or a person that just that's inspired by various music, I'm a little partial to the to the Afrobeat that I'm listening to today, as opposed to Al Ceylon, and the principles are very different. What Selah gave his life for this music, his mother's life, and so for it to be just kind of cheap into what it is now, I'm definitely a little bothered by it.
Well,
but with that being said, I think dub and reggae music is it's prime. Africa loves reggae, period. They love reggae music, so I think it's prime for South System for sure.
yes, roots music, dub music, liberation music. That's where we defend. That's what we promote. And above all, that's what we protect.
And so where would you like to go with the music, Fasimbas?
Yes.
And where would you like to go with it?
Oh, with the music, well, I hope the music would allow us to put more bread on the table at all level, and that we can perform, promote that music to the highest level of our ability and our expression. I believe in cultural expression.
Yeah.
I believe in intellectual expression through music, through writing, through performing. And for that matter, if there's such thing as an expression, individual cultural expression as well collective, then there has to be structure, infrastructures that are removed from the entertainment space. Yes, so that we can focus, and we can definitely focus on that cultural individual expression instead of filling the pocket of nightclub and and promoters and all that.
Yes, because you want to provide an experience, at least I do. So musically, I think it's important to provide an experience for people, especially if they don't know about the music, and you're going to find more people don't so much, little here and there is coming out, but still want to keep it at its realest, rawest form without it being compromised and things like that, because that can happen very easily as well.
Or I would say I fully respect the choice that ones decide to take, how and where they want to take it. I fully respect that, and I'm not pointing fingers at those who choose to take it on that route. But I do believe that they ought to have spaces for others who want to take the music into another level, or in that particular level I just mentioned. Meaning they ought to have spaces for cultural expression, for artistic expression, without it being necessarily commercial or rearranged to suit a certain type of audience, so to speak.
Correct. Correct.
I believe that in 2024 we ought to have that, because you have the topic of self-expression that is fine, wide, pushed to a level that is way beyond anything, and to have a music that is being curtailed, that is being more simplified to an objective that is purely entertaining and monetary. I do not think it is in code that's right. It could be like this, like it could be on the other end as well. If it is like this, then it has to be on the other end. Or to have space where it's a cultural expression, it's an experience. This is my take on that.
Yes, absolutely. In 2024,
especially
that's important. That's important, and at least in this time with them called 2024, because the ionized ancient people, and we don't have no time, and so neither does this music, and that's what we know. This music is not it's not fragmented by time. You listen to all other music, it has a time limit on it. But Jah music doesn't have a time limit. There's no limit on this. So that's why we are now in what they call the 8, which is the infinity, and that is our music. So it's just time to push another level now, because our consciousness now is so high now. But what are we saturating it with,
Yeah, we
are we still saturating it with,
it looks
stuff
like
from the 1990s? No, we can't do that.
Yeah. That's the side I don't understand much. Why is it here reggae music is always connected to the early 90s? I mean, playing reggae music, we stuck in those 90s, 91, in which you had this hip-hop, reggae merging.
Let me tell you why.
Why? Yeah. Want to know why?
I'm going to tell you why. It's because of the power of the video, the music video, right? So we have to understand that reggae music started getting more visual prominence in the starting in the late 80s. Bob had, you know, ate up a lot of the visual presence of reggae music, but after that, you really didn't see much until Shaba, you know what I'm saying? And next thing it was like boom, like that whole 90s thing, Buju and all these people, these great talented artists out of Jamaica, started becoming more visually aware to us. All right. And so that changed the landscape for reggae going forward. And then you start hearing it in the clubs, Super Cat, da 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 da. These are becoming household names for us. We're hearing this. It's on the radio now. So this is why we're stuck there. And then once that period ended, okay, Sean Paul, and then boom, there's like, okay. And then later on, we have maybe Chronics and some of these guys who started filling more of that visual space again that made it more popular, But yeah. But if we go back and we start digging in the 90s, we're starting to say, wow, there was a lot more going on in the 90s besides this.
Very true.
Right? There was, Jah Shaka was at his height. Musically, what he was producing. You had, Steel Pulse, you had Mad Professor, you had a lot of different elements in the 90s that was producing some astounding music in that time that we weren't privy to.
Very true.
Unless you were, looking for it. So it's always amazed me that divide, in America where we were like exposed. It was like, okay, that's a secret over there. Y'all not gonna know about that music. No, y'all just gonna know about this right here. And it seems almost on purpose.
So it seems it was a deliberate decision taken by those who bring whatever they think is financially profitable to their business to the audience, basically.
Oh, absolutely. What is that film, Babylon, that film that came out in the early 80s?
Babylon?
Yes, that featured Jah Shaka and Aswad.
Oh, you mean Johnny Clark tune called Babylon?
Yes, but it's a film.
The movie, from the 80s.
The movie.
It's true, exactly. I remember.
So, we didn't know that movie wasn't promoted over here at all.
Actually, that movie was banned at the early phase. I remember seeing it in 1980, and I saw it in Austria. But the movie called Babylon was actually banned. Yeah, I'm correct. It was banned at the early stage.
Yes.
I don't know what they had good reason, I guess, because you had a serious, especially a place like New York, you had a serious so-called issue with the Caribbean young population. So then again, but yes, it was banned. And the movie basically was a social exploration of structural racism in European British society, as far as of how they were dealing with young Africans, Caribbean, second generation, born in England, right?
Right.
And in the 1980s, you had a lot of uprising, a lot of demand for more access to to a better living condition and justice, and as far as they're dealing with the police. So that was the time.
All of the things that we're dealing with today, every last one of them.
Yes,
we're
because
still dealing with them.
you know, it's every generation turn up to becoming at the age of 18, 20, 21. And when you are faced with the same systemic structural opposition to your own development, how do you react to that? You react in a normal way, which is you refuse, you fight, you attempt to structurally modify the relationship of power that exists within the community that you involve. You see, I mean, it's just basic sociology interaction that is in this place. Just you expect that every generation.
So the film explored the sound system being the voice or the way in which the people were empowered
at that time. Yes.
Yes.
At that
and
time.
So I still say it still applies today.
And also, I would say that any social scientist who would just be studying this type of message, this type of movie, this type of music, his number one response to it is how can we control, how can we divert these type of message into anything that will just refrain them from a sense of political awareness and a sense of identification to take control of their immediate environment. So that's when you start seeing a lot of drugs being thrown in at hand to these young people. Guns, drugs, hedonistic message, from cocaine to sisters dressing in such a way. They will promote these type of message, reactionary.
Exactly.
And how the music from Jamaica turned into almost like a horror culture.
Social experiment.
We gotta say it. We gotta say it. Because now looking back, we can just say it clearly and properly.
Yes.
And we see a reactionary type of element just be popping up in all these within the mind of young people. I was young once. I mean, I can remember big time. I can remember all these things. I lived through these things from as a witness, though, not as an actor. No, I was not. I remember visiting England, UK in 86, 87, going to Shaka dance, and the place was empty, big warehouse, empty, no more than 20, 30, 40 people at Shaka dance.
Wow.
No more than 40 and 50. But if you go to these Coxswain dance, or the one now, Abashanti used to be a DJ, a selector. They'll be playing all the ragamuffin, all the dancehall, and the saxon. But don't get me wrong, saxon was saying some serious uplifting music. So it's not true that the level of consciousness was only to be found within Shaka. It's not true. But Shaka was hardcore message talking about Africa when no one there talking about it. Talking seriously about music from Jamaica, about Rastafari, and then Shaka start using the local talent, who them in return will make specific type of message music dealing with brutality from the police, with unemployment, with injustice, with racism, with the spirit of political awareness. And most young people, as much they were into it, the great majority rather go to dance, to do the lovers rock. I mean, this is understandable too. So we're not pointing fingers of X, Y, and Z. We understand that the social condition is what created the level of high frustration and response to a hedonistic escape. It's understandable when there's so much pressure during the week. When weekend come, you just want to enjoy yourself, which is understandable.
Right.
So these were the days, no different than the days today, right?
Exactly.
Even worse today.
Because at the end of the day, that's what you want. You want people to enjoy themselves. You want people to feel good. You want, them to feel something that, musically that was inspiring for them.
Absolutely.
That maybe they didn't hear before.
And I agree. I mean, music is an escape. Music is a medicament. It's a medicine. Music is very important to our well-being. So whatever you put into that music, the message that you insert into that music can influence, I believe, your perception, your consciousness, your awareness, it is an instrument of social change as well of social form of control. The music that you have can control you, contain you, or liberate you.
Yes.
So where are we going? We want to be controlled, we want to be maintained, we want to be liberated, or we want to escape into fantasy. It's just up to us. Now it's just our choice.
And as we stand on the cusp of what them man call World War III, what them a do.
Oh.
See, it's necessary to keep people in a sort of a sleep, state. And so I know here in the state in particular, the energy is going to be in trying to keep people asleep as much as possible. And, if we don't understand, then we better know that after this music, there will be no more music.
Oh.
That quote is from the great Peter Tosh. He said it.
The mystic man.
After this music, there shall be no more music.
And I think he's quite right. Unless again, this is within our culture, within our culture. But you go to some place in Africa, African music, the artists, the message that they send, and we are not even being aware of them. We don't even know them. But I'm telling you, there are places in Africa, the music that the artists be promoting and presenting to the people, man, it just changed people. It just take them by, just put them into another level of awareness. So what's taking place here or there, it's not necessarily connected, but there's a power in the artist is a powerful member of the society, and an artist that is progressive, that is open to the reality of his environment, can, with his tool, which is the music that he creates, the lyrics that he writes, can express the things that the everyday person do see and experience. And it can help to promote positive change, as it can help to promote negative, reactionary, dangerous, anti-social behavior. It's just up to the artist or to the group of artists where do they want that music to take their audience?
Exactly.
Take them to a level of consciousness or certain particular, or let's say during the 70s they used the reggae singers to promote a certain type of political party, right? You remember? I mean, from what we have heard, and yeah, they use musician artists to gain vote. So yeah, it's powerful.
Certainly. Absolutely. I mean, they do it all the time.
They do it even now, right? Every 4 years, you see artists. Oh no, we don't even call them artists anymore. We call it celebrities.
Puppets, yeah.
It's true though. We're not making that up.
No.
So that's
so that's why it's more. That's why it's even more increasingly important to use the airwaves, because the airwaves is the most powerful medium that we have right now. Right? They try to take everything,
yeah.
But the airwaves is supposed. They say the airwaves belong to the devil.
Okay. And
yes.
I would say this.
So
is that
if the airwaves belongs to the devil, then that means we have to use the airwaves to take it away from him.
Okay.
That's just the way.
I would say this. Once upon a time, all these tools were very, very powerful. Now they have opened the door of these space. And the door being open, it means that the real struggle got to be found somewhere else. Meaning, we having this show, few people are watching it. And it's open now. Before, when it was extremely difficult to get on the airwave, when we had a show, we had a guarantee of 1,000 just listening and so forth.
Right.
But now we have access to all these type of space. It seems that this is just my opinion, of course. It's just my opinion. So we gotta let the music. I mean, we gotta let our music play. And those who are willing to join in, it's good. This is my take. What is your take on that?
I think that I always stand by that I'm a student, and so I'm continuing to learn. I don't have all of the, great, big equipment and all the, the beautiful, controller, all those wonderful tools that I see, that people have for their sound systems. One day, maybe. But I know it's more important for me to have the spirit.
Yes, thank you. And you're so correct on that. It's not the big speakers and all those tools that really qualify you as a sound, let's say, activist. It's not. It's definitely the spirit. Definitely. And I fully agree with you on that.
So for me, that's my reward.
I see that you listening to the music that's being played. Do you hear the music that's being played?
I do not know.
Wow, it's look like you see the spirit. Your spirit allow you to even hear that music that you cannot hear at the current time.
Yes, but my spirit hears it. Believe me.
We hope that this top conversation will we definitely have progressive promoters in America and outside of America. We looking forward for the day that those promoters in Africa, and you know you are out there, and you know you have the means to invite activists, artists such as Miss African Roots to perform in Africa. Me and a few friends are working on ways to do something in Senegal. My understanding, you've been to Africa already.
Yes.
In Senegal, Gambia, West Africa.
Yes, the Gambia. Yes, Nangadef,
Yeah.
the Gambia.
Okay. So we are having a session. We're going to have a session in Senegal, and
Nice.
With the work of Abendigo, Ameth Diallo, and Sly, and we definitely want to share that invitation with you, with Milka, the sister from Eritrea who is in Sweden.
Yes, yes.
Her, Abendigo. We also have brought it to the attention to AKASHIC. So we put the word out, and the preliminary works have been undertaken. Abendigo is from Senegal. He traveled there often.
Yes.
So his sound system is already down there. So all we have to do is to bring our spirit and definitely our person.
Yes.
And as far as accommodation, etc., is going to be taken care of. Thanks to Ameth Abendigo Jahlow. So this is just a word I'm putting out, and we're going to make this thing happen in West Africa. I know people from the Gambia have been informed, and I know they are definitely going to be looking forward to it. I think that in, again, 2024, we're at the edge of time. We come a long way, and we got a long way to go. But the effort, the work, the people, the space, it's got to be done in Africa. I don't believe that that Europe is already congested. America could be the ideal place because it has everything: technology, structure, etc., etc. But in spite of all that, it doesn't seem that we come across people who are willing to really establish this structure on a large scale. They just want to satisfy their environment or their community, and they're satisfied. It's okay. That's fine.
Right.
But Africa is young. Africa is ready, and you got a huge audience that is just looking forward for that.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Yes. They love reggae over there. Absolutely. The Gambia, respect and love. They love reggae, and very, very sophisticated listeners of music in the Gambia. And also Senegal. Their music alone, you know what I'm saying? I don't think people understand. People really sleep on Senegalese music. Mbalax is powerful, beautiful, beautiful music. I fell in love with the music of the Senegambia region. So yeah, it has a lot in common with reggae. Just the collaboration just gives me chills, you know, in terms of dub and the sound that's out of Senegal. So yes, I'm looking forward to all of these, you know. definitely.
Yes, sister. Miss African Roots Selectress out of Miami in Florida, United States. Be looking out for her on YouTube, on Instagram. What is your Instagram connection?
You can find me at Miss African Roots. You can find me there, and also at Deeper Levels MIA. And just try things.
So
Do
you
things.
say deeper level.
Yes, Deeper X. Well, the way I spell it is Deeper with an X Levels MIA. And you can find it from my page as well, which is Miss African Roots on Instagram.
Miss African Roots on Instagram.
Mhm.
So you have YouTube connection and you have Instagram connection. No Facebook connection?
No.
No Facebook, but strictly on
No.
Instagram and YouTube.
Yes.
And in person down in Florida, Miami.
Yes, if you're nice.
Well, so I say this. You've heard the connection. It's up to you now to take the step to be introduced to her selection. I personally often do visit her YouTube videos, and I'll tell you one thing, it's super surreal. The effect, the music, the vibes is everything that we know and understand as far as dub music, roots music, liberation music is about. I would say this, as far as Miss African Roots, there is only one sister I know. I know there are others in America, but as far as myself, my humble self, she represents liberation music to the highest. This is my sister. This is Fasimbas' sister. So I have nothing but respect for your work. I have nothing but admiration about the way how you present yourself, how you promote our music, and how you defend it, regardless of how and who is in front of you. So keep doing what you're doing. The world is watching you. Those who matter are supporting you. And one day we will all meet and we'll have a dub session.
Yes. Yes.
Showcase. Showcase. You'll be on one end, we will be on the other one. Showdown at Corral.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Give thanks.
Yeah.
Give thanks, good people. I hope that we have touched various topics that will open up other type of discussion. My understanding is that Miss African Roots is the original African sister in terms of dub liberation roots, Rastafari music. Support the sister, visit a page on Instagram and on YouTube, and let's make the rest a history. Wadada. Sister, keep in touch, and
Yes.
here you got the mic. You want to say something to the audience? It's all yours.
No, just keep dubbing. Respect and honor. Rastafari bless. Thank you.
Rastafari bless. Keep dubbing. So we're going to play some music for a little bit, and then until next time. Wadada.
Until next time.
Yes. Original sound system activist named Miss African Roots, Dub Lioness activist out of Miami, was the guest on the Fasimbas Showcase. A serious, progressive dub version conversation. We should have more like this so that we get to be introduced to who is who on the dub scene right here in America and beyond. You hear them style? Them style we control and promote and defend. Wadada.